Welcome to Thriving in Identity, a 12-week transformational journey that is going to support you in embracing your true identity, embodying your full potential, and developing your God-given gifts to live out your calling. Throughout this journey, we're going to experience who we are at our core. We're going to take off the layers that have gotten in the way. We're going to explore the reasons why we were created. And we're going to take a look. As a child, you felt a calling on your heart. Something was bursting out of you that at one point in time got put in a box and shoved away. That emotion, whatever that was emanating from, is a clue as to why you were created. The calling, your true purpose. Not just the money, not just the security, not just the finances. No, the crazy thing is when you step into your true calling, into your true purpose, all of those things also come about. And it's important because as we go through life, the moment that we start to look at the calling and the purpose that we're made for is the moment that we start to experience a whole new level of life. It's almost like the catalyst for living is opened up. And in that is the purpose of life. So before we get any further, if you're here right now, it's because you're looking for something more in your life. It's because you're looking to expand into a new version of yourself. Maybe up until now, you've been doing something just because you thought you should have. Maybe you grew up in a household that told you you should be doing X. And maybe you're on your way there and you're starting to realize you're not necessarily doing what you love to do. You're not necessarily doing what you're called to do. Because part of doing what we're called will sometimes include doing things that we not necessarily want to, yet we know we're called to. So it's not necessarily things that you like to do, it's things that you're being called to do. Maybe up until now, you have already been in your career for some time and you are in your calling. That's amazing, because if you're there already, this program is going to help you amplify what you're experiencing. It's going to help you step into even greater levels of support for others. It's going to help you even step into a greater contribution to the world. Because if you find yourself in a position where you already are living out your calling, you are already fulfilled with what you're doing, there are people around you today who could use your support. And this program will help you step outside of yourself and into your community. And as you do so, you'll experience a whole new level of alacrity and vitality in your life. You'll experience a whole new level of you. And you'll experience what it's like to see the people around you step into their calling. The moment that we step outside of our own worlds, our problems become much smaller when we step into the world of others, when we're helping them step into their true potential, their true identity. Thriving in Identity is a program in which we'll explore ways for you to step into who you really are. And I like to take a look at this framework from a very simple idea. We're going to surrender. We're going to surrender who we think we are. We're going to surrender what other people tell us we need to be. We're going to surrender and give up all of that, because at the end of the day, you know your truth better than anybody else. This program is not for me to tell you your truths. This program is for you to discover those truths on your own, to create a whole new level of commitment for yourself in your life. As you surrender, you're going to then embrace. Let me ask you this. You more than likely have a mom and a dad. Whether they're biological, whether they were adoptive, you more than likely have some sort of parental figure. With that person, do you have to try to be that person's son or daughter? No, more than likely not. More than likely, you are that person's son and daughter. You don't have to try to be their child, you just are. As we embrace the identity that we are loved unconditionally by a force and a father that is going to give us everything we're seeking, we step into a whole new level of peace, a whole new level of power, a whole new level of presence. And as we step into that identity and we embrace that possibility, we then start to embody a whole new level of potential. Because you are no longer doing things for the sake of somebody else validating you, or somebody else saying, yeah, you're doing the right thing. No, you're embodying who you truly have been created to become. And that potential is one that is untapped and uncapped. You truly have no idea what you can do when you step into full levels of potential. And when you surrender, you embrace and you embody, we're going to start to develop at that point in time your God-given gifts. And these are gifts that are uniquely given to you. Before you were born, these gifts were already within you. Who you grew up with and what you grew up doing, these things were already within you, and these gifts are an avenue, they're an access. They serve as an opportunity for you to see what your true calling is. God in me put the gift of talking. He put the gift of curiosity and care for people. He put the gift of being open to ask questions that most people are not comfortable doing so. So at that point, I started to realize that the gifts that God had placed within me, I was not honoring, all for the sake of safety and security. Again, the golden handcuffs. And as I started to realize that, I started to take a look at, wow, I'm not honoring the full potential that I am. I am not embracing my full identity. Time to make a shift. As we go through this SEED framework, SEED, surrender, embrace, embody, and develop, we step into your true calling. And in that, you start to now live a whole new level of experience in life. Now, how do we get there? We take a look at it because we need to move, we need to be in motion. We can't expect to turn a parked car. That's impossible. In order for you to cause any transformation in your life, you must be in motion. And as we develop these gifts, which is going to be your role in our conversation, in our conversation together, as we go through the coaching sessions, as a group, we will explore opportunities to surrender. We'll explore the opening to embrace that identity. We take a look at what your full potential looks like. But then it's on you to develop those gifts. And we start by, number one, bringing clarity as to who you are. Because you take a look back, maybe when you were 12-ish, 12, 15-ish, around that area, and you ask yourself, what really fired me up at that point in time in my life? If you really look back and you're honest with yourself, you can see that there were things that you did back then that really got you excited. Now, maybe that was playing soccer with some friends, which was mine. As a 33-year-old, I'm not gonna find myself playing professional soccer, but I'll tell you this, that what I loved about soccer was that we were all moving towards a common goal. We were working as a team, passing the ball around to eventually get the ball in the net. We were able to communicate with each other on the field, to tell each other where we were at and how we could support one another. So while I may not necessarily be doing what as a child I was doing, the reasons why I loved playing soccer back in the day gave me an opportunity to take a look at my calling of today, which is literally coaching, development, helping teams grow. So the purpose that you've been created for, you can take a look back in your life and you can take a look. The reasons why you liked doing this thing you did when you were younger is more than likely because they gave you the opportunity to step into your true calling today as now an adult. So we bring clarity to that. One of the most important parts, without clarity, we can't go anywhere. We need that clarity. Number two, we take a look at your energy, your vitality. And yes, we're gonna take a look at the ways in which we can keep our physical bodies at a high level of energy. But most importantly, we're gonna take a look at how do we experience a whole new level of vibrancy, a level of presence, that the moment you step in front of somebody, there's something about you that just makes you stand out. There's something about you that makes you different than everybody else. When I was in the door-to-door industry, this became something that, again, back into the gifts. I didn't realize it, man, but now looking back on it is very clear. I was able to knock on a person's door I'd never met before, and in the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm now, and literally in some situations, holding onto their baby in the kitchen room table, hanging out with their kids. Something about my presence for them had them be comfortable to allow me in. Now, I'm not saying that it was because of me. No, it's because of God placed these gifts within me, that He gave me the opportunity throughout my lifetime to develop and use. So we're gonna take a look. How can you develop this sense of vibrancy, this level of energy that allows you to show up in anything you do with full presence, which creates a whole new level of power in the way in which you show up with what you're doing. Number 3, developing next level courage. Because maybe right now there are things that you would like to do, but because maybe you don't know how to do them, maybe because in the past you failed, you are holding yourself back from taking those actions on. We develop courage, and as we take that leap of faith, we realize that what we have been wanting to do is, again, in fact, what you were created to do. And as we get beyond the terror barrier, that fear threshold, we experience the fullness of ourselves. As we develop this level of courage, you start to realize that fear never goes away. No, in fact, fear is an opportunity for us to lean into and realize and recognize, oh wow, I'm moving in the right direction. Because typically that fear is the result of trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone. So as we develop courage, you'll start to see yourself expand, develop, become who you've been created to be. Number 4, productivity. And no, I'm not saying getting things done for the sake of getting things done. I'm saying getting things done that are in alignment with your calling and your purpose and your goals. That's the kind of productivity we're talking about. As we develop this productivity to the next level, you'll be able to see for yourself what it looks like to step into a whole new level of production. You'll be able to see that maybe what you've done before in 8 hours, you could actually get done in 2 hours. Opening up now for yourself 6 hours to focus in on other goals, other areas, or more than anything else, to just rest. You'll be able to see that as you increase your level of productivity, what you thought was possible was in reality a small percentage of what's really possible. And again, now we're stepping into contribution. We're stepping outside of ourselves and into the world. As we develop productivity, you'll see your goals and your projects skyrocket because you'll be developing the identity factor that's going to support you in getting things done when they need to get done. And number 5, influence. Being able to be an influential human with the people around you. Being able to walk into a room and regardless of who is there, regardless of what's going on in the room, regardless of what you're wearing, regardless of any of that, to be able to go up to anybody, start a conversation that has a level of connection, that has them saying, whoa, who was that individual? To be able to walk into your home and maybe your child, if you have children, maybe your child's doing something that you know they shouldn't be doing. Maybe they even themselves know they shouldn't be doing them, but here they are still doing them. How can you now have a level of influence with them to help them step outside of that action or something new? Or maybe you're responsible for leading a team. Maybe people are counting on you to get things done and you're counting on others to move the ball forward. One of the most important things that we can do as humans is learn this ability to influence others. It's a skill set that's going to support you in a way, multiplying your efforts. Because now it's not just on you. Now it's on us. Now it's not what I can do. Now it's what we can do. And when you can start to step into the world in a way that creates influence with others, you'll start to realize that in a world that is lacking influence, that is a very high asset. That is a skill that is going to pay off in both a professional context as well as a personal one. So as you develop influence, you'll see that you'll be able to touch people in a way that other people can't. You'll be able to get things done faster. You'll be able to have a better level of connection with the people around you. As we move through these 6 identity factors, again, we'll be creating this opportunity for you to step into your calling. And this program is going to give you the chance to explore beyond who you think you are. It's going to help you get rid of those things that you already realize is not you. You'll be able to step into some new discoveries as to what is possible for yourself in your life. So if this is interesting to you, if you want to explore what that looks like for you, if you want to be a part of a community that is going to support each other and expanding into what they are truly here on planet Earth to do, I invite you to join us. I invite you to really step outside of your comfort zone. I invite you to step outside of what you think is possible and start to ponder on what is really possible. I invite you to look up beyond what you see, Because as it says in scripture, faith is the substance of things not seen. So maybe right now there's something that is knocking at your heart. Maybe there's something that is just telling you, knock, knock, knock. There's something bigger for you, but you just don't know what. That's okay. It is a process of discovery. And through very specific frameworks, very specific curriculum, with a very specific guidance, you'll be able to discover what those things are for yourself. The more specific you are with the questions, the more clarity you'll bring to your answers. So join us. Join us and explore what could be possible for you as you learn to truly thrive in your new identity.